The Hall of Fame committee is proud to continue the tradition by adding 5 worthy names to our Hall of Fame roster this evening. And now, to get the ceremony underway, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our mistress of ceremonies this evening, Hall of Famer Dr. Bonnie Edmondson.
Good evening and welcome. What a fantastic crowd for just a wonderful, wonderful ceremony. As an alumnus of Eastern, it is an honor and a pleasure to share in this exciting occasion. The Eastern Athletic Hall of Fame is indeed one of the premier events at our university. And we are here this evening to celebrate the accomplishments and service of very special and talented individuals. Each and every one of the honorees today has made a difference and has left their legacy here at Eastern. Through teamwork, dedication, and commitment, they have excelled in athletics and in life and exhibit the qualities of true champions. Congratulations to all of the honorees, their families, friends, coaches, and significant others who were instrumental in their success. Enjoy every minute of this well-deserved celebration this evening. And now, to continue the tradition of welcoming the new inductees into the Hall of Fame, we will now have current members of the Hall of Fame form a corridor along the middle aisle of the room so they can formally welcome our new Hall of Fame inductees as part of our entrance ceremony. As I call their names and they move to form the corridor, please welcome our current Hall of Fame members who are with us this evening. Those include Louis Kennedy, Allison Coleman, Dick Grenier, Amy Keene-Steed, Chris Mock, Joe Narotsky, Ron Pires, Donna Poyant, Len Reed, Beth Regan, Kathy Regan-Pine, Tammy Schundemeyer, Dan Swichenko, Cynthia Washburn, Clyde Washburn, Trish Wodach, and Bill Holowati is also here, but he is in the ceremony. So please join me in leading a round of applause for the current Hall of Fame inductees. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the presentation of the 2014 inductees. Please welcome 2014 Hall of Fame inductee Peter R. Daniels, Jr., escorted by his presenter, Bill Holowati. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2014 Hall of Fame inductee Maureen C. Deegan, escorted by her father, Jim Deegan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2014 Hall of Fame inductee Amy M. Golis, escorted by her presenter, Maureen Fahey. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2014 Hall of Fame inductee Richard E. Vega, escorted by his presenter, Barry Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2014 Hall of Fame inductee David G. Yo, escorted by his presenter, wife Suzanne Yo. That's wonderful. At this time, I would like to also acknowledge and thank Mr. Al Morano for his musical entertainment as our official musician of Eastern Connecticut State University Athletic Hall of Fame. Thanks, Al. We always look forward to your musical entertainment every year, so thanks so much for being here. It is now my pleasure to invite to the podium a very popular and integral member of Eastern's community. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Father Larry Lapointe to deliver the invocation.
It's always an honor to be here and to hear the cheering, which is very appropriate, as you all remember these extraordinary people who are being inducted tonight. I think there's an added fervor as people are yelling, "Yo, yo," which has an added meaning tonight above the usual words of encouragement. So this is just an extraordinary night and has been for many years. And even before that, before the Hall of Fame, Eastern has always really committed itself to excellence. The fact that the men and women who are honored tonight have excelled in a field that is related to athletic competition by no means indicates that the university is unaware of the balance of the ideal graduate or coach or participant. That wonderful balance between the academic and the athletic that is the hallmark, really, of those who have attended Eastern over the years is something that is honored in a very real way tonight. This isn't just about scores. This is about a quality of character, as Smitty mentioned in his opening remarks, which were so beautifully crafted. In fact, I was a little envious of part of that, and I thought I might steal some of it, but it was very, very well done. So, realizing that we're not all exactly identical here, we have different religious beliefs, different philosophical systems through which lenses we look out at the world and see it and see ourselves. It's probably a good thing for us not to seek words that encapsulate or characterize everything that we believe, but to find in a moment of silent reflection the opportunity for us in the sort of inner sanctuary of our own hearts to be in touch with this moment of celebration, this moment that celebrates excellence not only in achievement but excellence in character and excellence in contribution. And so we pause then in a spirit of unity and in a moment of silence to reflect with gratitude on all that has been and to ask blessings upon all of those who are here. Amen.
Thank you, Father Larry. It is now my honor to introduce the president of Eastern Connecticut State University, Dr. Elsa Nunez, to extend greetings. Welcome, President Nunez.
Every year I think Bonnie's going to say, no, I'm not going to do that for free anymore, and she doesn't. So let's give Bonnie a special round of applause for being the mistress of ceremony. Year after year, she's so loyal to Eastern. We love her as an alum. I look at my calendar, the week before and look at all the events, and when I see this event on my calendar, I just smile. It is so uplifting and such a wonderful event. Look at the turnout today. So in the Eastern tradition, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to all scream, "Go Warriors!" and then we'll get started. 1, 2, 3, go Warriors! I love Eastern, and I love all of you for coming this evening, and I want to thank you. It's an important event, and it is prestigious for Eastern to have such a great turnout, not only of the 5 awardees and their families who are joining us, because that's the support system that makes things happen at Eastern. It's the community, it's the family, and thank you again for being here today. Your presence here is further tribute to the honorees we are recognizing today. I look across our audience and I can see that we have a number of alumni back to campus. It is wonderful to see all of you back to Eastern. We hope you will take the time to tour the campus. Things have changed year after year. It continues to grow. You see the beautiful Fine Arts Center that will be completed next year. It's just going to be a magnificent building with 3 theaters, a gallery, glass facing the street, inviting the community in. Of particular note is the Sports Center lobby, which used to look like a middle school, high school gym, and now we've freshened it up until the new sports center is built, and it looks great. The quad, we did some great renovations to the quad, drainage issues, but more importantly, to make it aesthetically beautiful for the students. All of this we do because the taxpayers in Connecticut have given us that support. And so we're very grateful to all of you who live in Connecticut, pay taxes, and continue to support public higher education. I'd like to take a moment to remind us of the special role that athletics plays here on our campus. I think Father said it beautifully, which is this delicate balance between academics and athletics. We're a Division III school. Our students compete with rigor and with dignity on the playing field, and they do it so well. They don't expect to be high-level athletes at some point after graduation, but they do know the importance of athletics. But what it does do, it builds young people's character. And for that, we have a great set of coaches at Eastern who not only pay attention to the athletic part, because we want to win, we do want to win, but they pay attention to the development of every person's character who's on a team and also their well-being at Eastern. Will the coaches please stand up so we can recognize you? They're really the backbone of Eastern. Our students are preparing for professional careers, active lives as involved citizens in their communities. 93% of all Eastern graduates stay in Connecticut and make a life here with their families. And they enjoy and benefit from the same liberal arts education we offer all students. There's not a separate curriculum or courses for athletes. Our athletes excel on the field and in the classroom. With the leadership, goal setting, and time management skills that student athletes cultivate, it's no wonder that Eastern consistently maintains one of the best reputations in the Little East Conference for producing scholar athletes. We have outstanding athletes at Eastern over the years, and we own 9 national championships. But I hope you're as proud as I am of the outstanding academic performance, because our retention and graduation rate is higher for athletes than it is for a regular student. Isn't that fantastic? And many of the athletes that are playing today will join the Hall of Fame someday, attesting to their leadership and performance on and off the field. This marks our 21st Hall of Fame ceremony in 28 years. I think that's awesome. And you saw the 4 big panels outside. It's to speak to the celebration of 125 years of the existence of Eastern. Isn't that fabulous? We've been here in Willimantic 125 years, starting from one little building to the 125 acres that you see today. It is wonderful that we have the panels they're showing you, and I saw some people actually looking at the panels, the development of Eastern's history, because it's taken a team of people, students, faculty, and staff, to make Eastern what it is today. Today, we rank in U.S. News and World Report in the top 25 public universities in the North. The North is not the Northeast. It goes all the way down to Maryland, all the way across to Pennsylvania. That's a lot of American colleges and universities, and our rankings are high because of the work of the faculty and the staff. We now have over 100 inductees in this very special circle of honor. The latest group of Hall of Fame inductees is equally as deserving as past honorees, and we want to spend our time this evening recognizing each of you. We're very proud of the 4 alumni, and that's Peter, Maureen, Amy, and Rich, and I congratulate you because I use you as role models and hold you up to the rest of the student body and say, look at what these alums have done in their lives. So thank you for doing all that you do on behalf of Eastern now that you've graduated. We are also pleased to induct Dr. David Yo this year, someone we all know and admire, and our veteran athletic trainer for 26 years. My husband cannot stop asking Dr. Yo for special treatment. And I have told him that's an ethics violation. So Dr. Yo, don't talk to him about running anymore. But congratulations to you. We're very proud of you. I want to thank our committee. Smitty does a great job. You heard him in the introductory remarks. And please stand, Smitty, so we can acknowledge you and thank you for all you do for Eastern. We've got a great athletic director, Cynthia Washburn, and our media services department. Everyone, works very hard to put this event together, so thank you. But I especially want to thank the E-Club, which has provided the financial support so that we can get this done this evening and all of the other activities that we do for our athletes. And finally, I want to say congratulations to a good colleague of mine, Bill Postemski, who's receiving the Atkin Service Award. Bill, where are you? There he is over here. Bill retired from Eastern a few years ago, and it was one of the retirement parties where I cried because no one kept this campus more beautiful than Bill did. He would go around picking up papers himself, doing all that he could to ensure that Eastern's campus always glowed. So thank you, Bill, for all you're doing, and congratulations. On behalf of this Eastern community, congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, President Nunez. Next, I would like to invite to the podium an Eastern alumnus and Associate Director of Alumni Affairs, Mr. Ryan Rose. Ryan?
All right. Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Rose, and I'm the Associate Director of Alumni Affairs. As an Eastern graduate and former member of the men's lacrosse team, it's a real honor for me to address the Hall of Fame this afternoon. I'm especially proud to see some familiar faces from my playing days being inducted into the Hall of Fame this evening. I can speak from experience when I say that the leadership, dedication, and work ethic of all of our Hall of Fame inductees made each of your teammates or patients better athletes and better people. Your induction today ensures that you will continue to have a positive influence on Eastern student athletes for years to come. I remember seeing the Hall of Fame plaques in the Sports Center. It motivated me and inspired me to work harder. Seeing those plaques every day reminded me that I was part of a proud tradition here at Eastern. I'm sure that the athletes in the room today would agree that our experiences as student athletes and our teammates have provided us with memories and friendships that are among the greatest of our lifetime. As I'm sure you all do, I remain in close contact with many of my former teammates and look forward to any opportunity for us to come together as a group. Much like our alumni games and reunions, today's ceremony provides another great opportunity for alumni to reconnect with their teammates, coaches, and the university. I'm pleased to see all the friends, family, and colleagues and teammates that are here today to support the 2014 Hall of Fame inductees. Your support throughout the years, I'm sure, has been invaluable. I want to thank each and every one of you for your support of the inductees. And finally, to our newest class of Hall of Fame members, thank you for being an inspiration to me and for the inspiration that you'll provide to Eastern students in the future. On behalf of myself and the Alumni Association, congratulations on your induction. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Before we begin the celebration of our honorees this evening, I'd like to recognize and celebrate a very special group of current student athletes. Thanks to the generous donations of Hall of Fame members through the newly instituted Hall of Fame initiative, we have in attendance student athletes representing 14 intercollegiate athletic teams at Eastern. The spirit of the Hall of Fame is to recognize extraordinary accomplishments of outstanding role models. It is also about paving the way for others and cultivating opportunities for future student athletes. The Hall of Fame initiative does just that, and we are so pleased you are here to recognize and represent your respective teammates and the university. Please stand and be recognized. Athletes. So that was for the Hall of Fame honorees today. That was a hint of things to come. The initiative, don't forget that. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the chair of the Athletic Hall of Fame, Mr. Scott Smith, to present the prestigious Michael A. Atkins Service Award. Smitty?
Thank you, Bonnie. Some of the most important components that have gone into creating the tradition of excellence that is the Eastern Connecticut Athletic Program have been the people who have given their time and talents in ways that often go unnoticed to the casual observer. It is these individuals who may not have a direct connection to any one program, but have consistently gone above and beyond to provide the support, knowledge, and the all-important whatever is needed work ethic to do all of those little things that need to be done on a day-to-day basis and a year-in and year-out basis to run a successful athletic program. To honor these individuals, the Hall of Fame Committee presents the Michael A. Atkins Exceptional Service Award. The Atkins Award is presented to an individual demonstrating a standard of loyalty and commitment to the Eastern Connecticut Athletic Program as exemplified by Michael Atkins. Michael Atkins was a longtime volunteer who, in his role as Administrator of Baseball Affairs, managed and took care of Alumni Field for many years until his passing just over 20 years ago. This year's recipient certainly fits the definition of an Atkins Award winner. Bill Postemski served in various capacities within the facilities department here at Eastern for over 36 years. Throughout that time, Bill was a major point of contact between the Department of Athletics and facilities, providing much needed support and expertise in the establishment and upkeep of our athletic facilities, as well as in the design and construction of the Mansfield Athletic Complex. Whenever there was an issue at one of the athletic facilities, no matter what time of day or night, a call to Bill was all it took to get the problem solved. His in-person follow-ups to make sure an issue was solved were always greatly appreciated. On behalf of the Hall of Fame Committee, it is my pleasure to present the 2014 Michael A. Atkins Exceptional Service Award to William F. Postemski. Bill?
I'm one of the fortunate ones who knew Michael Atkins. Michael not only worked at Eastern, but he and I started working at Eastern in the same year, 1973. And thinking back on Michael, I can't help but think about his enthusiasm and intensity that he brought to work each and every day, regardless of what the task was. He was amazing. I believe each time that the E-Club makes this presentation, they honor two individuals. They honor the recipient, but more importantly, they honor Michael once again. For it was Michael's determination and drive that drove everyone around him and made Eastern a better place to work. I thank you.
Congratulations, Bill. So well deserved, and thank you for all your efforts in making Eastern a better place. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to begin the presentation of the 2014 Eastern Connecticut State University Athletic Hall of Fame inductees. Enjoy the videos.
The starting third baseman on the 1990 National Championship baseball team, Pete Daniels, is one of only 3 individuals in program history to be selected as both the team's best hitter and the team's best pitcher in the same season. Named All-New England at 3 different positions in his career, Daniels' left-handed bat was a key component in the heart of an order which averaged 30 wins and reached the championship round of the NCAA Division III Northeast Regional Tournament each year. In 1988, Daniels became the first program newcomer to be named Team MVP. Daniels was named First Team All-Northeast Region and Second Team All-America in his final season. In a 3-year career, he had 182 hits, drove in 121 runs, and stole 39 of 45 bases and compiled a .374 batting average. As a pitcher, he won 10 games with a 3.50 ERA in 113 innings.
He got our Coach's Award this year of a ball player that gave him himself. He went from left field to third base, I think solidified our baseball team, and just led by example, and a true leader, just a tough-nosed ball player, and a throwback from the old times, from Meriden, Connecticut, Peter Daniels. But it's a pleasure of mine to be here and talk about Peter Daniels. Many things go through my mind about Peter. Peter is probably one of the greatest ball players we had at Eastern Connecticut State University. A very committed, dedicated young man who grew up very nicely at our university. He was an athlete. He was a competitive athlete that brought our team to different heights, okay, in our program. When he played in the 1990 National Championship team, he was the standout with 2 other great players and a host of other good ball players. Peter could run, and not very fast, but could run with smarts. He could steal the base anytime he wanted to, and he was a great pitcher, but just wanted to hit. And we had probably 2 of the greatest left-handed hitters in the state of Connecticut at Eastern Connecticut State University. Peter had an air about himself on the baseball field that just gave everybody else confidence, and just was a super ball player. One of the standout things I can remember about Peter was him pitching a no-hitter up at Southern Maine, and he did an outstanding job. And to pitch a no-hitter in Southern Maine is quite a feat. And then going into the World Series, we put him at third base and moved Paul Matachin over to second base and DH Brian Mercado, and it changed the whole team at that time. There was no question in my mind that Peter was one of our better ball players. He probably could have played basketball at Eastern, he could have played soccer at Eastern, he could have played every sport at Eastern, you know, if he wanted to. The greatest thing that I can think about Peter is to see how he's matured, and is a great father and a great husband, and he's provided for his family, and I'm very proud of that.
He was definitely a leader right away. You could tell a lot of the players respected him. He was a quiet leader. He wasn't one to, you know, rah-rah, stuff like that. But he definitely led by example, and guys appreciated that.
He was a guy who could hit for power. I mean, I know he didn't hit, you know, a real lot of home runs. He hit some home runs, but he also, you know, hit probably as many doubles in the left center field gap as he did home runs over the right field fence. So yeah, he sprayed the ball around. Very limited strikeouts to have him in the middle of our lineup. yeah, he didn't strike out a lot. He put the ball in play.
As a hitter, I thought Pete was one of the best hitters I've seen. His versatility was amazing. He could hit for power. Obviously, he could hit for average. I know one of the things he likes to say that he had a little speed as well. So when he got on the bases, I know his senior year he stole up to 20, 25 bases, which he was very proud of. But he could do it all.
He'd come back from at-bats with little inside information about what the pitcher was throwing out there, or maybe, like you said, about base stealing, or look for this, would the pitcher's move to first, and things like that. So he did. He was a student of the game, and he brought a lot of little intangibles back to the dugout from his at-bats and things to try to help his teammates, be successful.
The American Amateur Baseball Congress will present the Lefty Gomez Memorial Championship Award to the Eastern Connecticut team and head coach Bill Howley.
It is my pleasure this time to introduce Peter Daniels as a 2014 inductee into the Eastern Connecticut State University E-Club Hall of Fame.
Please welcome Peter R. Daniels and his presenter, former coach Bill Holloway.
Thank you. I'm not very good at this kind of thing, so I'd much rather be coaching, so please bear with me as I struggle through this. I have many people to thank. First, I'd like to congratulate the other inductees and hope their time here at Eastern was enjoyable as mine. I'd like to thank the E-Club and the university for continuing this program, this wonderful event tonight. I wish the current baseball coaches and their team good luck in this upcoming season. Fellas, enjoy this. It goes by quick. Bullet, what can I say? You do an amazing job. You get the names of all the players in the press into the newspapers so family and friends can follow their athlete's career. You don't realize how much this does for when they leave school or in school. Smitty, thank you for your help throughout this process. I'm so happy that you were able to make your dream and career here at Eastern. You deserve everything that comes to you and with the work you put in on it. To my coaching staff, Lenny Reed, I see you out back. We clicked. We had fun. You guys were professional, knowledgeable. You made it fun. We won, and we had one hell of a time doing it. I couldn't have asked for a better college baseball experience. To Coach Holloway, we had our battles, but we were both working towards the same goals. We're a lot alike. We're a lot alike. Neither of us would give an inch, but I loved every minute of it. I wouldn't have changed it for the world. You were there for me as a player and a person. Most of all, I never respected anyone as I did you when you were there to help me graduate years later. You're a great man. To my teammates, wow, I miss you guys. I can honestly say you're the brothers I never had. We had fun, we laughed, we cried, and we won. I still, to this day, have never seen a team bond like that with no egos. I think about it a lot because my travel team is close, and it makes me think of you guys all the time. Playing you guys, around you guys, when we weren't on the field, were the time of my life. I'll never forget the memories we made here. To my mother and family members, you gave up a lot for my career, and I thank you. You were there for my highs and my lows. I had a decent career, and I couldn't have done it without you. I just hope it was enjoyable for you guys as it was for me. And Mom, those nights you did call up here, I was at the library. To my wife, who was my girlfriend while I was at Eastern, thank you for the time you spent here at Eastern watching me and I'm really sorry for the time you had to spend with Bubba when we were on the road. Now you have to deal with me as a coach, and I know that's not always fun, so I'll apologize now for the next few years. So my daughter, Alyssa, she wasn't able to attend tonight. She's attending Westfield State, and there's way better stuff going up on there from what I hear. She's been dragged to enough of mine and Ryan's games that she deserves a night off. I'm very proud of her and couldn't ask for a better daughter. For my son Ryan, who people call Mini-Me, thank you for getting me back into baseball. Not only do you have me as your father, but also as your coach, and I know that's not always easy. You have to deal with me at the games, the ride home, and at home. You do it well. I'm very proud of you. Your work ethic is unreal. You play the game right. You are always pushing yourself to compete at the next level. I apologize now, like I did to your mom, for the next 10 years of your life. Dr. Yo, from what I hear, you did not want this. Let me tell you, you deserve this way more than me. For what you did for the players and the time you put into everyone, it was unbelievable. And thank you. My Little League coach, Jimmy Fredericks, thank you for everything you've done. Your baseball knowledge is unreal. What you did for me and my father, I'll never forget. Thank you. The tough part, my father. I played this game for my father. Now I coach this game when I'm constantly on my mind. When my father died a few years after I left Eastern, I gave up sports. That part of me died with him. I buried my national championship ring with him. It belonged to him. My father was tough, but he always made it fun. Not only was he my father, he was my coach, but also my best friend. I thank him for the time we spent together playing this game. Ryan recently asked me where my championship ring was, and since I no longer had it, I was thrilled to hear about that we receive a ring for the Hall of Fame. So, Smitty, if you don't mind, can I just take 1 second and call my son up to present, so Coach could present him with this ring? This ring belongs to him. Ryan. Again, thank you for this event. It's a night I'll never forget. Thank you.
Mo Deegan is the most accomplished two-sport female athlete in 43 years of Eastern Connecticut women's intercollegiate athletics, having earned national, regional, and conference acclaim in the sports of field hockey and lacrosse. As a senior captain in lacrosse, she was named in the Inside Lacrosse All-America second team after leading Division III in points and placing second in assists. As a second-year senior captain in field hockey, Deegan was selected to the National North-South Senior All-Star Game and repeated as a second-team selection to the All-New England West Region team. That year, she was named Eastern's Female Athlete of the Year. In both lacrosse and field hockey, Deegan still holds almost every major career statistical category, among them goals, assists, and points.
I'd like to thank Mo for this wonderful opportunity to introduce her into the E-Club Hall of Fame. I can think of no other student athlete that is more deserving from my time at Eastern Connecticut than Mo Deegan. It was an absolute pleasure coaching her in both field hockey and lacrosse. I know you're going to spend time at this event talking about the numerous accolades that you accumulated in your time at Eastern Connecticut. But I think it's really important for the audience around you to really know what made you special, and that was your unbelievable intensity. I know no other athletes in my 23 years of coaching that really exemplified that intensity that you see in the best athletes of all time. When the game was on the line, there was no one more than you that I wanted to have the ball. When the game was on the line, that's what your teammates wanted as well. You were an outstanding practice player, game player, so funny on and off the field. Erica Blosey and I still laugh really hard at some of the conversations that we had. So I think that, that's so long-standing that is a true testament to the kind of athlete that you probably still are, but definitely were while you were at Eastern Connecticut. So you made my time there really wonderful, enjoyable, memorable. The games that we won and the games that we lost were really made special due to the kind of athlete that you were. You set the bar really, really high, and ever since, I do take a look at a lot of the athletes I still coach today, and I measure them to you. You are the measuring stick in athletic intensity. You're a gamer. People used to say, Mo's like a bull in a china shop, and I used to say back, a bull in any shop is going to do some damage, and Mo, with the ball, there's not many people who are willing to stand in the way.
The first things that come to mind when I think of Mo Deegs is sheer intensity. That intensity, I think, is a really hard characteristic to instill in someone. It's part of either having it or not having it.
If we were on a Twitter account right now and I asked that question, here's what we'd get. Hashtag no fear. Hashtag all in. Hashtag winner. Hashtag leader.
That intensity and that energy of intensity, it radiated off of her. Whether it came out of she was angry or she was just being stubborn, but it still came off in this way that everyone else fed off of it. And it made people want to be better and want to work harder on the practice field. And that's what helped us become better.
They remember her tenacity, her fierce attitude, the edge she kind of played with. They would all say that Mo was a legendary leader. She led by example. She wasn't afraid to bring the others in if something was amiss at practice or even during a game. And she was one that, as a coach, I can kind of rely on her to be an extension of myself on the court, because it was all business and was all about getting the job done. And that was Mo. Her work ethic was second to none, and it was all about winning.
She didn't count her own points. She doesn't know how many assists she had that day or how many ground balls. All she cared about at the end of the day, what the final score was, and that there were more points on the Eastern side than somebody else. And you can't help but respect that.
I really am appreciative of this honor, and I hope you have a wonderful night, and again, so deserving, and I'm really happy for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium Maureen Deegan, escorted by her father, Jim Deegan.
Okay, so apparently my high school basketball coach knows all about Twitter. I would like to start off by congratulating my fellow inductees. The mark you have left at Eastern are impressive and honorable. On that note, it was an honor to be able to speak to you all today. I would like to say thank you to the coaches, trainers, athletic administration, and parents in the room tonight for all your unwavering support. In my career, I had so many magical moments in both sports. It was a career filled with great memories and great people. I would like to thank Coach Raley, who couldn't make it tonight, but who taught me the game of lacrosse. Her patience and knowledge of the game was a gift. She was stuck with me for both sports as well, so that was hard enough. I would like to thank my teammates. The bonds we formed will be some of the greatest relationships of my life. Doc Yo, thank you for keeping me healthy all those years. You did it every day with a smile on your face. And I know it wasn't easy sometimes. I'd come in and be like, I'm fine, just take my ankle and get me back out there. And Doc's like, no, you're not fine, sit back down. So sometimes it wasn't easy for me. But Bullet and Smitty, thank you for putting the night together. But I don't know how you manage to do what you do. So impressive how you manage all those teams, keeping up all those numbers. Last but not least, I would like to thank my parents, Jim and Judy, who are here tonight. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. We live about an hour and a half away from Eastern in Westport, and my father had never missed a game. Thanks for always believing me and always preaching to me that I could be someone special if I really worked at it. I took that to heart. Couldn't have done it without you. Thank you to my family and friends and Henning for coming tonight and supporting me. But again, I love this school, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
The program's first impact recruit, Amy Golis, earned numerous athletic and academic awards in her 4-year swimming career. She becomes the first representative from the program to gain induction. A winner of 102 races and dual meet competitions, Golis capped her career as a recipient of the prestigious K. Fromer Award for compiling the most career points in the New England Championships. Golis joined the program in its 4th year on the intercollegiate level, helping the Warriors to their first 3 top 10 finishes of the New England Championships. By the time she graduated, she held 7 individual records and had partnered on all 5 record-setting relays. Golis earned all New England accolades 8 times and achieved all Little East status 9 times. She shared the department's Female Athlete of the Year award as a senior and qualified for an E-Club Scholar Athlete award in both years of eligibility.
It is with great admiration that I am before all of you celebrating Amy Golis' 2014 induction into E-Club Hall of Fame. I can go on and on about Amy's accomplishments, but you'll be hearing about most of them today, or I should say most of her college accomplishments. After speaking with Amy's parents, I have heard that Amy's competitive and loyal nature started when she was young. Amy swam for the Silver Fins of Meriden as a child. After she and her teammates swam a really fast relay, they would take it into the locker room showers, where the next challenge was to see who could hold their breath the longest. Apparently, Amy won that competition as well when she passed out on the shower floor, minutes away from a hospital trip since none of the girls wanted to confess what they had done. In 4 years of high school swimming, Amy never lost an individual race to her crosstown rivals at Platt High School. I suppose that Amy best described her drive and ambition in an essay she wrote in high school about swimming. Her topic was how she prepared for a race. She claimed that she was never the biggest or strongest kid on the blocks, just a scrawny-looking kid to the casual observer looked like someone who would struggle to finish. However, when she got up on the blocks, she would look to her left, and then to her right, and then at the pool, thinking to herself, "This is my pool, no one's going to beat me today." Then the starter would call swimmers to the mark, the gun would go off, and that scrawny kid would turn into a shark. After completing her undergraduate degree, Amy obtained her master's degree in education. When she isn't teaching English to 7th or 8th grade students at Ram Middle School, you can often find her helping out one of our student athletes by proofreading their papers and providing much needed insight into professors. She readily volunteers to assist potential recruits with questions about the university and the swim team. Amy's a hit with recruits as she's been there and done that. What always makes me smile is the way Amy's eyes still light up when she talks about swimming in Eastern. Amy's assistance is not only in the academic area. She may be proofreading one day and working on someone's stroke the next. Adeptly qualified is how I would describe Amy in and out of the pool. Being a gifted athlete assisted her in many achievements, but rather it's Amy's desire, passion, and hard work that we are honoring tonight.
What made her a successful swimmer is her dedication and her work ethic and just her determination to do the best that she can do and be the best that she can be.
Hi Amy, this is Julie Hogeworth. Congratulations on being the first ECSU swimmer to be inducted into the Eastern Hall of Fame. I can think of no bigger honor for someone as deserving as you. Having swam with you for multiple seasons and knowing you personally for even longer, I can say that you are the most humble and dedicated athlete that I have come across in my athletic career. You are an immense motivator for me in the pool, always creating new records that I would have to strive towards. You pushed me in the pool daily at practices and knew how to channel nervous energy into a winning performance at meets. Your work ethic and drive was a motivator to the entire team. It was an honor to swim alongside you and benefit from your competitive spirit. Congratulations to you on a much-deserved induction into the Hall of Fame.
You know, I learned a lot from her about swimming and, you know, life in general, being with her over the 4 years, and I think just her like natural swimming talent and ability to challenge herself really helped her to be, you know, where she is today and when we were swimming at Eastern.
Now, Amy was a fierce competitor. She was great in the butterfly. Her records only were broken recently, and she swam ages ago. She's getting old. So I've been working out, and I was hoping to challenge her for like 2 lengths of the pool butterfly. I was a butterflyer, and I'm not that bad. But she swam in the alumni meet last year, 50 butterfly, and I'll tell you, she's still fast. And I'm going to wait till she turns 70 before I challenge her.
What I leave you with today is 2 excerpts from a speech Amy wrote as a guest speaker for our National Student Athlete Day award ceremony several years back. And this is a ceremony where she got to speak to all the current student athletes at campus. And I'll start by quoting her and saying, "I can't remember learning to swim, just like many of you in this room probably can't remember the day they first laced up their cleats, picked up that bat, or first bounced a basketball. What I do remember is how it changed me and shaped me into the person I am today. And I can guarantee you that all of you do as well. And so I will end here, not by wishing you luck in your future. Success does not come from luck, but rather the common threads of hard work and diligence that you all share." At this time, it is my pleasure to present for the induction into the E-Club Hall of Fame, Amy M. Golis.
Please welcome Amy M. Golis, presented by her coach, Fahey. Congratulations. Thank you. Well
Thank you so
deserved.
much.
It's hard to beat CB on that, but I'd like to begin simply, of course, by saying thank you to Eastern and to the Hall of Fame community. Thank you more than you can imagine. I'd also like to begin by addressing a question that has, followed me since I started at Eastern as a swimmer and has followed my teammates and our coaches every year. I have met innumerable people who have all asked the same thing. Eastern has a pool? We just say, yeah, just follow the chlorine smell. You'll find it eventually. And so tonight I would like to address that question once and for all. Yes, Eastern does have a pool. Eastern has a pool in which the swimmer, homesick and scared in her freshman year, found a new home. That pool whose teammates and that coach have ultimately served to shape who I am today. While I was here, I became an English major who became a teacher and a swimmer who became a coach. Eastern has a pool where these things are possible, where swimmers realize they can swim faster than they ever thought they could, where they can prove to themselves that they can, in fact, do it. Whether that means waking up for early morning practices, swimming in cold water in the dead of a Connecticut winter, or besting a time or mastering a stroke they never thought possible. Eastern swimming makes it possible. Eastern has a pool where a coach, who you may not have seen eye to eye with at all the time, becomes much more than a mentor. She becomes a friend and an irreplaceable part of your life. Eastern has a pool where the teammates Eastern has a pool where the teammates become your family. No matter how far life flings you from each other, the pool still holds that bond. They are always there in person or in spirit to support you and cheer you on in whatever life sends your way. Eastern has a pool where families come together to cheer, to share in life's ups and downs, and to throw a pretty decent on-the-road meal at New England's together. Their motto really should be whatever it takes. In fact, going into Eastern's pool, you can understand the role family has. Sitting up above in the heat of the gallery, they truly do hold the roof up over the swimmers. Meet after meet and year after year. Mine especially, never missing a home or away meet, are the shining example of why the Eastern Pool is a place of love, support, and success. So to those that you encounter over the years, to those that I, our coaches and swimmers, will continue to encounter, I just ask one small favor of you tonight. When someone says to you, "Oh, Eastern has a swimming team," I just ask that you respond very simply, "Yeah, Eastern has a pool." Thank you.
Rich Vega started the final 97 games of his career as a 4-year basketball starter and left the program as its all-time leading scorer and as a 2-time All-New England selection. A 3-time first-team All-Little East combination guard, Vega scored just under 1,600 points in his career, and as a sophomore led the Warriors to the conference championship and to the NCAA tournament. He was named Little East Tournament MVP that year, averaging 16 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds. Vega scored 923 points in his final 2 seasons, with nearly 1/3 of them coming from the foul line. Vega led the Warriors in scoring, assists, steals, three-pointers, minutes, and free throws in 3 of his 4 seasons. Last summer, Vega was inducted into the New England Basketball Hall of Fame in Worcester, gaining entry into the Division III men's player category.
At the Division III level, recruiting is about building relationships that will last over time. I saw Rich Vega when he was a sophomore at National Power St. Thomas More Prep. Head coach Jerry Quinn always had good players, and Rich was obviously no exception. He was a floor general, a leader who exuded confidence in all aspects of his game, even at a young age. I allowed myself to dream for a few minutes, thinking, wow, what a steal this would be if I could get him to come to Eastern. My next thought was, how can I hide him so the larger scholarship programs don't swoop in and carry him off? From that point on, I spent a lot of time at St. Thomas More, watching practices, games, and getting to know Rich. Our relationship grew, and we were fortunate to beat out the many suitors and have Rich attend Eastern. From the time Rich Vega stepped onto the campus, basketball at Eastern changed. Rich brought a different swagger to the team, a confidence and passion that was contagious. He was our starting point guard for 4 consecutive years, leading us in points and steals. He had no fear and welcomed every challenge. I enjoyed watching Rich play, from his ability to make a key shot or penetrate and drop off a sweet assist, to playing the passing lane and coming up with the steal, or simply his overall ability to frustrate opposing players and coaches. Rich was a complete and exciting player. While I was fortunate to have the opportunity to coach Rich, I also learned a lot from him. I was then, and still am, a Rich Vega fan.
I think Rich is the epitome of a Eastern Connecticut State University success story. You know, he really came from very humble beginnings, and to kind of become the man that he's become today is amazing.
One of the best players I ever played with. Very deceiving, but one of the most effective game time performers I've ever seen.
He was a kid that got buckets, and he was a kid that got buckets not being overly athletic. He wasn't overly tall, probably 6 feet, and he certainly wasn't muscular in any stretch of the imagination. I think Rich was 150 pounds. He might still be 150 pounds. And he wasn't very boisterous. He wasn't very loud or flamboyant. He was just somebody, as we coaches say, who got buckets. He scored, I think, in a variety of ways. He shot the ball well enough to make you respect him from 3. He was a little bit of a throwback player in that he had a great mid-range game, and I thought that really, really helped him make it through college too, because he did go to the rim and he did go to the foul line an awful lot, but he also was able to score from that 8 to 15 foot range, which allowed him to take a little bit less of a beating on that slight frame.
Whether it's pickup or whether it was a game, couldn't stop him. You couldn't stay in front of him, and if he wanted to get to the hoop, it did not matter how many people knew he wanted to get to the hoop, he would get to the hoop. Just watching the speed that Rich took off with and how fast he was able to maintain that speed, I mean, it was kind of like, it was silly. I remember thinking, I was like, wow, that's like it's like wide receiver speed. You know, it was just kind of just so fast, and I just wasn't expecting that from him because that was one of my first experiences with Rich. I was like, you know, excuse my language, I was like, where the did that come from? You know, it's just kind of like, holy cow.
He was a very egotistical basketball player. I think Rich, there was a deep confidence in himself. You know, I remember playing at the YMCA in Hartford years after he had graduated, and seeing Rich playing out in the YMCA, and he was still the same player. You know, he was still getting his shots up. He was a high volume shooter, but he played in college, and I think his whole basketball life with a deep, quiet confidence in himself. And so when I say he was an egotistical player, I mean it in a very positive way, that he had a deep belief in his ability to score the basketball.
Rich was always able to stay calm, no matter what the situation was. I remember tournament after tournament and big game after big game, and we all kind of gravitated towards Rich and waited for his lead and for his command out on the floor.
In late game situations, you wanted the ball in his hand, whether that was going to be a buzzer beater from the half court or race up the full court and try to get you a basket late, like he did in a very memorable game in a quarterfinal game against Keene State in the Little East Conference tournament, where I remember Coach Davis, calling a timeout to set up a play, and then leaving that timeout and telling Rich, get the ball and just score it. Rich makes the shot. Everybody surrounds him, guys from the team, people from the crowd. The baseball players are all pulling at him, and again, Rich is 150 pounds soaking wet. And I'm just reaching into the crowd trying to pull him out because I know we got more games to play and I don't want him to get injured.
Some leaders would be very vocal, and some people lead by talking. He was an exceptional leader by his quiet strength.
At this time, it is my pleasure to present as a 2014 inductee into the E-Club Hall of Fame, Richard E. Vega.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium Richard E. Vega, presented by former coach Barry Davis.
All I kept thinking when I was walking up here was, please don't trip. I'm just going to thank a couple of people. I'm not going to take too much of your time. I'd like to thank Coach Barry Davis for presenting me with this award. It means a lot to me. During my time at Eastern, you was a great influence in my life. Thank you. It is an honor to stand here by my fellow inductees tonight with great warriors. I am greatly humbled and honored to be receiving this award. I would like to offer my sincere gratitude to the E-Club Hall of Fame for honoring me. You all are amazing. Thank you. I did not make this journey here alone. Numerous people supported me along the way. I have been blessed to have an amazing and supportive family. My aunts, Ida and Maria, and my uncles, Tony and John. Along with my beautiful girlfriend, Beverly Garcia, who is in the car with my son right now because he acting up. I would also like to thank Emma Roland, who helped raise me, who couldn't be here today. My last family member I would like to thank is my grandmother, Anna Mama Vega, who passed away in 2002. My last year here at Eastern. There isn't anything she would not do for her family. She would have been very proud right now. To conclude, I just want to thank my teammates, my old teammates, my coaches, Coach Mulligan, Chewy, Ronell, Rich, Chris, Tommy. Thank you all, and thank you.
Dr. David Yo spent 26 years as the department's first full-time certified athletic trainer and on a teaching faculty prior to retiring in 2012. He becomes only the second individual inducted whose contributions were neither as an athlete or coach. For Dr. Yo, it is a source of pride that he never missed a day of teaching, nor a shift in the athletic training room because of illness. Beyond his remarkable record for longevity and reliability, Dr. Yo's gift to his students and student-athletes was manifest in his selflessness, caring, fairness, enthusiasm, and humor. A commitment to providing round-the-clock care for those under his watch, and a willingness to log countless hours beyond the traditional workday. Despite the fact that Eastern does not offer athletic training certification, 12 former student trainers under Dr. Yo went on to earn athletic training certification. In addition, 6 are physical therapy assistants, 3 are nurses, and 1 is a doctor. Dr. Yo also served as the co-founder and chair of the Holly E. Zimmerman Memorial Award Committee, chair of the Commencement Committee, and served 24 years as the chair of the E-Club Hall of Fame.
I love talking about David Yo because he has been the love of my life since we were sophomores in high school, and this past June we celebrated 46 years of a very happy marriage. I have always known that David is a very special guy, but his induction into the Hall of Fame indicates that many others have also recognized how very special he is. I have seen firsthand his thoughtfulness, caring, and dedication to the student athletes on so many levels. For example, going the extra mile with his evening phone calls to parents, driving athletes to their doctor's appointments, being with them in the hospital prior to their surgeries, providing a healing atmosphere with his mind-body approach, and always working to improve the quality of Eastern's athletic training services. I know better than most people how much he loves Eastern. This is obvious in his excitement and caring about the athletic events, his calling a Bullets hotline for away games that he didn't attend, his refusal to even talk negatively about any coaches or athletes. However, the same cannot be always said of officials, umpires, and referees. The fact that he never missed one day of work due to illness in 26 years. David truly valued all his relationships with the students, coaches, parents, physicians, and his training staff. Because of the quality of the students and his colleagues, he loved going to work and easily accepted the work demands of the weekends, late nights, holidays, vacations, all the while being a tremendous father to our 2 sons. Many may not even realize that David has retired because he is on campus 3 or 4 days a week. It's obvious that Eastern has always been a huge part and will continue to be a huge part of his life.
Dave Yo is simply the best. He has proven to be a great husband, a fantastic father. Both of his adult children are successful, and he's the consummate professional.
He was crazy. He was passionate. He was fun. He was energetic. He would yell. He would demonstrate things. He would take his shoes off, take his socks off, show us his feet. He would bring athletes in. He was just so passionate and so energetic. I think that's definitely part of what sparked my interest in the field.
He always made it understandable when the subject matter came about. He made it so you understood it and you knew it. A lot of other professors that I had, it would just be verbatim, studying the material and saying it back. Doc would break things down and made it so anybody off the street could understand what he was talking about when it was a medical terminology.
He was teaching right before me in the same classroom 221 in the sports center, teaching his athletic training class, and he was demonstrating plyometric movements, jumping, bounding. And we had that long table in room 221, and Dave jumped up on the end of the table, and the table flipped over and hit him in the head. He falls back. You can't ask somebody to go further than that.
I can remember many incidents being on the sidelines of a practice or a game, and an athlete, student athlete dislocating a finger, student athlete having concussion, nice gaping open wound, and I'd run out on the field with Dave, and I was so anxious to see his skills and how he evaluated this. But the first thing Dave did was pull out his camera and take great pictures, because those were future teaching moments.
I have been in the field for a long time. I've worked with a lot of different people. I've worked with very intelligent people, researchers, brilliant athletic trainers, and I think that Doc is the one person that I've worked with that's taught me how to treat people. And I don't think I'm as good at it as him. I don't think I ever will be, but in the back of my mind all the time is, how would Doc handle this situation?
It wasn't a job for Doc Yo. It was, something that he loved to do, and as I said, it was all about the student athletes and just making sure that they're comfortable, that they're happy, and that is really what drove Doc.
The Hall of Fame has evolved to be the class, of Hall of Fames, and Doc Yo was the leader, and he led individuals in that committee to select the proper people and at the right time.
He's an individual who was tremendously excited about what he does for a living and teaching what he knows to others. And I think one of the legacies Dave leaves behind is the many, many, many people that he has influenced, particularly in the classroom, not just all the student athletes that he cared for, but there are many of us who were former students of him, of Dave, who have gone on to be successful. And really we owe a lot to Dave, and it's been 28 years since I was a student of Dave Yo, and we lived together, and we remain very good friends to this day, and it's because of the caring nature that Dave had, and it resonated both in and out of the classroom.
At this time, it is with great pleasure that I present for induction into the 2014 E-Club Hall of Fame my husband, Dr. David G. Yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium Dr. Yo, escorted by his wife, Suzanne Yo.
Can you zoom in on this from the camera so everybody can see? This says old zone. And if you can't see it from where you are, we have better ones here, the old zone here, because we're in new territory tonight, because no one my age has ever been inducted into. Clyde, how old were you? And Joe Narotsky. And we've got Dick Grenier. How old were you when you were inducted? You were in 70. I'm going to be 70 this spring. And I'm getting old. So this is it'll excuse any mistakes that I may make. My brother said, you're getting gray. So I don't smell like Ben Gay or mothballs. I'm all right. My hearing is going a little bit. Yesterday my wife said, I'm so proud of you. And I said, well, I'm tired of you too. My memory is not as sharp as it used to be, and my memory is not quite as sharp as it used to be. So. This is fun. This is friends getting together. This is teammates. This is coaches. This is family. Nothing beats family. And we've come from such a wide area. We got people from Florida here today, Missouri, Virginia. We have people from Massachusetts, from Pennsylvania. You could be home watching football right now, but it's very much appreciated. Every one of you here today makes this a very special afternoon for those being recognized. I'm getting old, but I know where I am, and I know how I got here. And I got here because of the help of a lot of people, and I just want to try to thank them very quickly. First of all, thank you to the committee. Wait a minute, I'm on the committee. How did that happen? Smitty had a secret meeting, and therefore maybe this whole thing is null and void. I don't know if this is working here. I want to thank the people who appeared on the video for their very nice comments. Lots of stories about me were not told on that video, which is good. This really could have been a roast about what I've done around here, hopefully with all of you laughing. I need a copy, Smitty, of this video so my wife and I can remember these nice comments that were made about each other. A significant part of my success was the wonderful support of our student athletic trainers, and perhaps greater than that was the support given to us by the supporting orthopedic physicians. I must name them. They deserve to be recognized because for 26 years I can't do my job without the orthopedics. Dr. Jerry Lawrence, Dr. Ted Collins, Dr. Jay Kimmel, Dr. Mike Joyce, Dr. Vince McAndrew. And lastly, who is here tonight, Dr. Steve Scarangella. It is such an honor for you to leave your busy schedule to be here. He was the orthopedic for my last 12 years. He's now in his 13th, 14th year at the Orthopedic Hand Surgery Center. And so for Dr. Scarangella, my real deep thank you. And the last physician would be Dr. Bob Jeanette, our campus physician here, who has been here for 14 years, and his support and his guidance made my life much easier. The student athletic trainers, I can't do my job without them. They had to take my class. I handpicked them. I trained them. They didn't know what they were getting into. But as you heard, 14 of them are now certified trainers, and that's how do you do that without a major at Eastern? But we got them to that level, as well as many physical therapists and physical therapy assistants and whatnot. I had a terrific assistant trainer, Tom Holton. There were only 2 of us for many years. Now there are 6 certified trainers taking care of the wounded on this campus. But Tom has been in his 16th year now at Eastern and has been doing just a remarkable job. I did a lot of things outside the training room. I left the training room to do commencement committee or whatnot, and Tom's expertise and leadership with equipment, with supplies, with the design of the new training room. Thank you, Tom, so much for your support and your excellent management of injuries. I'm so proud of Julie Glode now. She was on the video. She was a former student trainer of mine, was the head trainer at Sacred Heart, Division I school, finds out that there's an opening at Eastern, forgets being head trainer at Division I, comes to Eastern and is doing such a tremendous job with her standards and her relationship with the students. I worked hard. I loved what I did, but I worked hard. But what I accomplished was because of the gifts given to me of teaching and leadership, gifts not of my own. I was taught, to whom much is given, much is also required. And I was given a lot of talent. And so I did work hard. And in the book of Matthew, the great teacher says that the greatest one among you will be your servant. And that's what all of you do. You just serve other people in your own way. But when I serve and when I give and when I teach, it comes from my parents, and my mother is listening to this tape at some point in the near future at 102. And she has been one of my great inspirations. All I really did was to give encouragement to these student athletes. All people really need is encouragement. And I hope that you realize that and know that you can help people by just encouraging them. It was easy for me to work hard because the great student athletes, the training room always had kids with injuries, but they overcame their pain and played again. They're all an example that the world is full of pain, but the world is full of the overcoming of pain. And I learned from their courage and their resiliency and their toughness and their hard work attitude, and I'm a better person because of that. And I look out and I see John DeCasanova. If you don't know that story, you haven't been reading the papers in Connecticut. But here's an athlete who is, I'm just quoting the news media, which is accurate, was given a 1% chance of living, and he's now playing on our soccer field. And John. It was easy, very easy for me to work hard because of our terrific coaches, their time, their sacrifice, their cooperation, their support. What tremendous success they have had, especially within the resources that they've been given. They're great people, and the meaningful relationships that we've had continue this day and are so valuable to me. I'm so proud of our Hall of Fame. 27 years on the committee, 110 inductees. I knew every one of them. I read their literature. I voted them in, and I am a little bit embarrassed or surprised that I stand in their company because I know what they did, I know what they achieved, and I'm so proud of all of them. I'm so proud and fortunate to have been a close friend of Francis Geisler, one of our founding fathers of Eastern athletics, a very close friend, and 3 of his family members are here tonight, David and Barbara and April, and that is like big time for me because Francis and I went way back and had very close times together. The engine of the Hall of Fame, the dynamo, Bob Malta, the icon, the institution, who has such a command of and commitment to excellence. He makes it happen. I don't think he's here tonight because we had 3 events today, and he's in the training. I say that quickly, don't I? He's in the sports information office doing his job. He knows what was going to go on because he did all this. And Bob Malta is just someone who is very, very special. He's an incredible SID. He's even a better person. The Hall of Fame has gone through so many changes. It's still growing. It's still evolving. It's so successful. It's so strong through so many, many, many tough decisions, and now is led so expertly by Scott Smith, and I'm so proud of what he has done to continue our record of excellence. I'm recognized this afternoon for being, what time is it? It's a 6:30. Is the food? Is the food here now? Oh, no. Don't leave. I just got 2 more paragraphs. I'm recognized this afternoon for being a good teacher and a good athletic trainer, but it was more important for me to be a good husband and a good father. Whatever that work, family balance was, and out of balance as it was with these weekends and late nights and the vacations and the holidays, Suzanne made it work. She and Eric and Scott knew that I loved my job, and the 4 of us made it work together as that great, great word called team. All I can say is you play your heart out for your family. I did that. I love doing that. And Suzanne, I've called you many things. I've never called you my presenter. So you are my inspiration, and you really make me whole. Thank you. I have seen more games with Eastern Athletics and have more great memories of Eastern Athletic teams than anybody except Bob Malta. It was a distinct privilege to work for Eastern, and I thank the university for providing me the environment that enabled a great sense of fulfillment, letting me be who I am and who I was meant to be. I'll continue to be a cheerleader without technical fouls. You worry about me, Dr. Nunez. I have never got a technical foul while you've been here. Yeah. God talked to me and said, don't you do that. My heart will always be with Eastern. I will bleed, what are we, burgundy? Is that our color? That's going to be hard to do. But I love everything that I've been able to do for 28 years. I look forward to seeing the exciting changes and ideas and moments that lie ahead. I am a very rich and very wealthy retiree only because I have many, many friendships here at Eastern, which I truly value, and because Suzanne and I have 2 priceless, are you listening, Dylan? We have 2 priceless grandchildren. In closing, I will not have this moment again. Mark Twain said that he could live for 2 weeks off a nice compliment. This afternoon, you have given me memories for a very, very, very long time. I am uplifted and I am very grateful. Thank you all for so many things. God bless you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give one final round of applause to Peter, Maureen, Amy, Richard, and David. Congratulations.